Drink more water. No, seriously, go get some water right now. We're 75% water. It's your superpower. So, it's 2 p.m. 2:01. Time keeps marching on, buddy boy. I told myself for a while now, you need to keep mimicking or pretending, even for my own mind, let alone trying to tell like my mom and my girlfriend that I'm working and shit. Like, use the same schedule that I knew I was going to have. For the rest of December, I was supposed to go in at 3 p.m. and clock out at 12 a.m. and then go to the gym and then go to sleep. Like, why couldn't you just follow that? The moment I stopped hitting my workout, my push-ups, the moment I stopped going to work, like, I knew I was supposed to be walking it. And I was like, you will get the pleasure of getting the car when she picks you up. And then you use it to go to the gym. And then the walk was nice for me. But the day that I started fucking up, I'm like, I'm going to wait for my girl to get off work because it's so close. But like, she only has a 30-minute window, and you know she gets out late sometimes. So why would you even play with that? You know, I knew what I had to do. That small voice was talking to me. But because of my habits, not going to the gym, and that voice saying, you could not go, when I know I already planned ahead, regardless, that at 2 a.m. I'm going to hit the gym. Even last night, 2 a.m., but I didn't want to go because my girl, I thought she would be like, where you going? Don't leave. And then I was like, well, it's not my car anyway. Like, motherfucker, like, I've always been that way to where, like, oh, I'm not going to take advantage. Oh, I feel good. Or I feel bad that my parents don't like what I'm doing. Like, motherfucker, you're still doing it. Might as well fucking do it for the shit you want to do. Like, oh, your parents don't like what you're doing. Who gives a shit, nigga? Excuse me. But you have who cares, man? You have your house. You live with a girl you're not married to. But what, man? What? 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 They don't talk to you anyway, or you don't talk to them. Who cares? You're gonna die alone. Your parents are older. My mom is like 70 something. My dad is 85, 86, 87, 88, something like that. He was born in 1943. So, damn, that's 80 years for damn sure. But, and the average man lives 75. So he's already like pushing the label, you know, but he was very healthy in his early years, ran a lot. Um, And there's something else too. Remember, he said that like when he lived in California when he was a young man, there's this highway next to the ocean that goes like this, and it's like 21 miles or X amount of miles, 22 miles, and he stopped like a mile and a half short. And he always wanted to go back and finish it. And now it's like you really look at it, and we talked about this years ago. We talked about biking, um, biking it at least, you know. And now it's like I don't know, you know, unless it were to be like electric biking, you know. And really, you know, it should. I should have the money to buy a plane ticket, to buy or rent an electric bike, because you're still pedaling, you know. It's just not so much effort. And like, yeah, he'll probably be in pain because of some of his conditions. But me personally, I would say I would probably tell him, fuck it, bro. Like, this is your dream. Let's fucking do this. You know? But who am I? And kind of, I've always kind of felt like going there and trying to complete that run myself. I'm not much of a runner right now, and I haven't been doing my cardio like the last 2, 3 months. But I traded my cardio for fucking going to work. And then on top of that, I was able to do my cardio like from fucking walking to work for an hour. And sometimes I was walking back. So boom, that was my 2 hours. I wanted that. I wanted 2 hours of cardio. And I would literally go back here on this trail and walk for an hour and then sometimes two walking around places with no destination. It's like, motherfucker, I was getting the best of both worlds. I was getting my cardio. Like, other motherfuckers probably thought I was crazy anyway because I literally just wanted to walk 2 hours a day. Like, that's it. Or at least the minimum an hour. And then until recently, at least 45 minutes or 30 minutes, you know? And I really felt like I activated the best going for a light walk in the morning. 30 minute, whew. But going for 45 an hour feel great. There was a time when last car I had, my SUV, like I had a routine. I'd wake up, first things first. I really felt the best. You know, I tried a lot of things. I tried waking up straight into burpees, waking up straight into push-ups, waking up straight into the gym, lifting, and nothing really felt right besides walking. Because me, I don't know if it's because I'm a giant or what, but I had to kind of think about it different. Like my system kind of warms up. And that's how I was at work too, you know, like, and that's how I've been at basketball when I would play growing up. Like I'm kind of like moving, you know, but you really see there's no effort. I'm just going through the motions. But then like 75% of the way, like I start hitting it in the gear, and then like don't slow me down at that point, because like once you slow me down, then I gotta pick it up again, and it's gonna be slow. And that's how I was at work, because we worked only part time for the last 2 months. So I'm working 4 hour shifts, but they give us a 15-minute break. But like near the halfway point, they give you that break, and I'm like, nah, my gears are moving, bro. Like I literally told the dude, and he just laughed. I was like, bro, I don't want to go on break. Can I skip it? Like for real, man, because then I gotta run it up again. So another time that was best, and that was when I had my SUV. The best I felt was going to the gym and going for my walk, and then yeah, like lifting afterwards felt good. But then when I started working and I was on a time crunch, I was like, I want to get like there was a certain time, I think I was listening to Brandon Carter too, so I was like, fuck it, you know. I always thought like popping like energy, they got the powder, right? I was like, first thing in the morning would be fucking crazy, but I'm like, fuck it, you know. He apparently, I saw a video where he's like, he's got it next to his bed and he just pops his energy or whatever and hits it. And I'm like, you know what? That's really it for me. You know, may not be the healthiest thing or whatever. You're supposed to start with like your 2 liters of water or something like that, or your 1 liter of water, however much it is. For me, it was like 2 bottles of water. That's all I knew. So, it's probably a liter. But yeah, I know you're supposed to start out with your water first, and then coffee an hour after um, you wake up. But really, the best times that I felt was like when I would wake up, regardless of if I took in caffeine or not. But a lot of times it was just me waking up, getting straight out the door, going straight to the gym with my gym bag already prepped up, going for my hour walk, or you know, however long, even 45 minutes or 30 minutes, if I was on a time crunch, take a shower at the gym, put on my fresh clothes, get fresh to death, right? I'm feeling good, feeling fresh, just got a little pump, and then go to work. That was my whole thing. That was my whole thing. Even when I didn't have a job during that time period, I was like, I'm just going to stick to this. And then I started getting to the point where I'm like, why am I doing this? But yeah, I've always just felt best like waking up, hitting straight out the door, and going into action. I know you're supposed to do like reflection and such, but I think for me, and this is something that is I think going to be a pivot in me, my lifestyle and routine, is like I would always journal like right now, because that's my main thing. And another reason why I probably wouldn't journal at the end of the day or make a schedule at the end of the day is because I'm sitting next to my girlfriend, you know, and I don't want to journal in front of her. Same way I don't want to work out in front of her. So it's like when I was in my 2 week streak of retention, she was out of town, yes, but also I had to keep myself busy because I knew if I didn't keep myself busy, my factory was going to start turning its gears. You dig what I'm saying? So I knew, and I really want to go back and study that time period in my journals, because that was like a month ago. I even looked over it like when, a month ago when I was journaling myself, because I tended to look a year ago today for like the last month. And so like yeah, like in October was a big month last year and this year. Um, and I was working fast food um, last year, but I just started a job. Like my first day, my girlfriend wasn't even in town, and I wanted to get mentally focused. So I was like, I'm gonna do nothing but squats, get out of my familiarity because I've been hitting high volume push-ups like every day for like a month straight. So I was like, okay, you got to get out of your comfort zone. So let's do. And I wanted to boost my testosterone. So I was like, you got to do some leg workouts, man. You know, um, and I really feel it, bro. Like the same feeling that I get when I do high volume squats, like that burn. Um, I get a sensation like when my gears are turning, either when I'm with my girl, or if I'm quote unquote edging. And that's the thing, I'm trying to get that. And I was thinking this morning too, like, if I have to resort to my original training of thought, which would be to not consuming any type of content unless it's geared towards my mission, and only producing my own videos, editing, making my own music, posting my own social media, but not consuming anything, just output, not input. Um, and if necessary, I might have to put my phone down so I don't have my imagination stirring, especially since my imagination is so vivid. I don't really need a human, but I've trained my mind because really the whole point of retention is so that you don't get used to yourself. You understand? Like you only do it with human company, but even on a spiritual or religious level, like you should really only participate in such actions like if you're looking to procreate. And what's crazy is, bro, like I've heard the voice of God a few years ago. I would call it, I don't want to commit blasphemy, but I felt like the Holy Spirit was telling me, like, you're not going to make it on your own doing it your way. You're wondering why you fail or you keep quitting and you can't. And it's because, like, if you were to do it your way or that way without the Lord, you are going to use the money unwisely, put it into the wrong place. And I've always thought about the beginning of Matrix, when Neo gets the phone call and Morpheus tells him, "Duck, you gotta listen to my every move. Turn right, turn left, halt. Okay, now go." Shit like that. Like that's how in tune with the Holy Spirit you have to be. Like, and that's why I've always felt that if I were to follow through and pursue the military, I would have to bring that Bible and just be in that. You don't get technology anyway, so I would feel like with all the pressure going on or operating in chaos, that I would need to be in tune with the Holy Spirit to know that move, to be in that flow state, because I felt it. I have felt it when I'm in tune. And that's really considering your action. That's really considering your intention. You understand? So even right now, when I'm on retention, I was edging yesterday and I was edging today, and it came so close. But that's the thing about it, bro. When you get to that point where if you keep going, you're off the edge, but you hold back. Like that sensation, bro. You shouldn't be doing that, because that same burn that I feel in my quads when I do my high volume squats, I feel a sensation in my quads when I'm getting lit up. You know what I'm saying? So I see the connection, to testosterone being built by doing more leg workouts. But the thing about it is, like when I do hit those high volume um, squats, then I kind of feel the boost in my testosterone. And if I'm not derivative with my time, saying I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna do push-ups, I'm gonna go for a 2-hour walk and get my 20,000 steps in. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not deliberate with my time, I'm going to make it a day zero. I'm gonna cancel it. And so my girl was gone for like 2 weeks. I knew indubitably, that I needed to be busy at all times, have a filled schedule. That's why the work was amazing for me last October, because I was like, oh, I had this zone of focus. I was journaling at night and reading and so that's the thing, and that's something Hamza touched on when I first started doing yard work. That's how I kind of knew like it was meant to be, because I've always watched his videos like uh, being active, because he always pushes being proactive. So like before last year, whenever I would watch his videos, I'd be like, I got to do something. So I would do my dishes, clean the litter, take out the trash, clean the house, my basics. That's important to me because I do that, whatever. And this year, like I followed his other channel where he's like doing martial arts or something, training. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to like sit here and just look at him like box and box. But even though he does give some talking, some insight, but I'm like, it's so crazy because coincidentally, like while I'm playing these videos, I'm in my yard working. So I'll hear stuff when he talks every once in a while, but really a lot of the video is just him going, ah, 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 just like hitting and punching. And so I'm like, well, hell, he's working, I'm working. So like for, an hour, 45 minutes, 35 or 20 minutes at least, I'm in the back organizing my wood piles, chopping wood, whatever, setting up the fire pit for the next fire. So it's little bit by little bit. But like even today, I only like put in like 10, 15 minutes, but it even looked a little bit more sharper than it did before. And I was like, okay, so chipping away, chip, chip, chip. But, I think that all this is for a reason, bro. But yeah, you gotta, me personally, I gotta get more in tune, man. You know, I've been in tune like when I was working at Amazon, even though I did not want to call it the Holy Spirit, but I felt that there was this like week, really a week going on 2 week period where I felt this flow and I was hearing the voice and I was like, okay, you gotta go walk to work now, get that cardio because it was good for me. The voice would say, okay, go to work. Don't even worry about borrowing the car. Just walk. That voice would say, okay, we just clocked out. We got to go to the gym. Oh, but I'm tired. But on the days that I did go to the gym, I felt ultimate. Not only did I feel good physically, like got a nice pump, like felt nice, but feeling good the next day, but I kept my word to myself, and I felt the greatest. So why wouldn't you chase that feeling? Why would you not chase the feeling that you knew made you feel good, like doing the thing you didn't want to do, like going to the gym after work and walking to work and getting your 2 hours of cardio at some point in time? It's not comfortable. Just like last night, small things like putting together this grill. I was going to put it off, but I was like, you know what? I got like 2 hours till my girl gets home. I'm going to do it slowly but surely. I even took a break because the time hit a certain time, and I'm all about times right now. So when it hit this time, it was like 555. I was like, okay, I got to hit my 500 squats because I was on a 3-day challenge based off of last year. I did a 3-day challenge of squats. And today's her birthday. Today's day 3. So I still have to hit my squats. See? And my main focus in the morning is hitting my damn push-ups. So one thing I've been trying to ingrain in my mind is I know that when I wake up, okay, I gotta go out and damn, sit. I sit out for a minute. Nowadays, it's listening to max velocity, listening to my weather, how the weather's gonna be. I don't know what I'm on right now, man. I feel like my mom. She was like a all into weather. She should have been a meteorologist, but and I never was about it. But now, like, it's whatever. I'm just waking up to something, and I'm sitting out, just letting the sun there, and I'm just sitting in the moment. Then in about 10, 15 minutes, I hit my yard work, So I need that kind of like, but it's like, it's cool, but it's like you're doing it at the wrong times, kind of. And then you got to be kind of intentional with your morning process, because if I get caught in that loop, like this morning, I'm not going to lie, TMI or whatever, but I came close to ruining my retention this morning, and it's like, but then I hopped straight up, and I knew the signs because I could feel all the signs. I was like, this doesn't feel right. You shouldn't pursue it. But I was like, but I want to, But it's like the OG said in one of those old videos, the spiritual archives or some shit. He's like, once you get those warehouse wheels turning, the factory starts moving and it starts to speed up. So if you can like retain, that's why like if you go on, like when I would go on my 14 days streaks or my 7 day streaks, that's really the best that I've done. But when I go on those streaks, when I do succumb to that temptation, the factories turn. And like today, I got to look in my journal, but like it's either in the coming days, bro. That's why I knew like I had to be very deliberate with December. But the first week, obviously, I failed. It's 2:22 p.m., so it's time to go. But it's been a week. It's December 10th, and I already knew for some time I have to be very deliberate with my time right now, because just on that alone, I feel higher presence when I'm on retention, bro. You know what I'm saying? So my goal would be to hit that 14-day streak. For me, really, it'd be to hit that 20-day streak, right? To damn 21-day streak now. If you make it right here, right now, But it's the intention too, because I know that, like, if you are on retention, and I know a lot of guys perhaps tend to do this, like you're edging or just viewing the bad imagery, you know what I'm talking about? Like you're still building bad prana, bad chi in your spirit, right? So your intention, even though you're not completing yourself, you're building something in you. Call it the chi if you must, if you will, So that energy, the intention behind your actions. Did you help that person with good cause? Your intention, bro. People will feel your energy, and especially when you're on that 14-day streak, I can attest to that. I can only imagine going on 30 days, but then the willpower has to be there, the strength, the vigor, the velocity, the will. And then you have to, because a stream cannot be dammed. You can't just stop it. Like you have to transmute the energy. And Nikolai Tesla said that if you think in the world in terms of frequencies and vibrations, you can think bad about somebody and then you fucked up the whole energy, and they feel it. And that's why something that I practiced last year when I was working in fast food, there was this white boy who was annoying. And I read something somewhere that said, even if you think positive about him and find just one good thing about him and say, you know what, he's a good worker, or he knows this that I don't know. And then you imagine yourself laughing with him. I did that, even though I would find him annoying. And then a few days later, promise you, brother, he did something, and he said something, and it was just lighthearted, and we laughed. He laughed for like the first time. Usually he was kind of like a dick. You know what I'm saying? He was an asshole. A little bit, not really an asshole, but just a jerk off. God damn it. Anyway, so, and then even something else that I was playing with was from Zerka. Mind you, I don't, he's fucking out of there. But, that's the thing. You got to be able to take the gold with the dirt. Anyway, so it's just the mentality. And he was talking about, he goes on a whole nother level. But the main thing was, imagine a positive scenario. Imagine you and that person laughing. Imagine yourself the way that you want it. There was this holiday event one time, and I already felt negative because I already felt like her mom's boyfriend or ex-husband or whatever, on and off relationship, this dude, I feel like he didn't like me for one reason, that he knew I was a moocher, and I didn't pull my own weight, and that really my girl was providing for me. So I knew he didn't really like me, and I feel the energy. So I imagine myself getting into a tussle with him and I don't even know why, because he never made any commentary to me. He never looked at me a certain type of way. We always had like nice talks, and maybe that was just my own self-doubt, creating an image, imaginary thing. But I imagine myself like getting in kind of a tussle with him, and not really, because like I'm not even that type of person, and there really wasn't that energy, but for some reason I pictured the tussle and whatever to the point where I jolted after I felt like the punch or the hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I jolted. And I looked around and nobody noticed, but I was like, bruv, I imagined, and I didn't like it, but I imagined myself into a literal fucking feeling. You know what I'm saying? And then later, when I learned that you should imagine yourself already possessing what you want, you should imagine yourself in the car you desire. Imagine sitting in it. Imagine the leather. Imagine what it looks like. So you can imagine the house you want. You can get closer to that by looking at videos, by going to take tours, even without intentions of buying it. We're going to take test drives, going to feel it, learning about it. How much exactly does it cost? That's why in Think and Grow Rich, you have to know exactly the numbers that you're looking for. Okay, like do the research. That's why the other day, it even connects to recently, like I was going to ask my mom for $300. I was like, do you really need $300? Do the research. How much would you pay to buy your girl gifts? How much would you so let's look that up on Amazon. How much exactly would you do to buy groceries for the birthday party? Okay, so really you only need $230, and really if you were to keep it even more minimum, you probably only needed $200, And really if you were to keep it minimum with your girl's birthday, you only really needed $150, $175. 150 was the first number. So in reality, I even expanded that, right? I really needed, in reality, half of what I was asking for. So that's the thing. You have to know exactly how much it is. Like, even if you do want the Lambo, like, you have to know, okay, you have to know that is $100,000 maintenance every year. You have to know, okay, how much is it that you want, that you want it at? How much is it with the taxes even? Like, what color do you want? Like, what are the specs on it? What type of engine does it have? How much per mile does it get? You have to know absolutely everything about it, what you want, And for me, I've never broken that down to like, oh, I want to be self-sufficient and buy some land and have a house and have 2 cars. But you have to know exactly, like for your dream house, what type of curtains do you want? What literally do you want it to look like? And so if you can get it to basically, you're trying to create an image in your mind. That's why dream boards are supposed to work to where like you're supposed to look at this and envision it to a degree. My sister's husband told me when I was a young man starting out, and I was, youngin'. I'm not really big on it now, but he asked me what I really wanted, and the only thing I could really think of was a yellow Lamborghini. And he's like, you should print out a picture or, cut it out of a magazine, what you want. I didn't tell him that's what I wanted, I don't think. But he's like, and make a vision board, really. But what drives it is emotion, whether it's fear, anger, and you have to recognize that. you know, and a large thing that is driven is the sex nature. So another woman, like, and really that's the derivative for a lot of things in the past, men conquering, to right now, men wanting to provide, right? They want the max looking, they want to be physically fit, have the riches, to have a good time, to ultimately provide for a family, right? Whether you're gonna be a bachelor man and have fun, you still got to do it for to have a good time with the ladies, or to having a wife and you gotta, hey, she supplied for. What is she gonna say if you're undeniable, physically fit, you know, transportation, house to live in, good life? That's what the woman's supposed to have. She's supposed to be sheltered, protected, kept nice, not exposed to the real world, really. You're supposed to take all the hits, Make sure that she's living the good life, but you sacrifice and go through pain so that your family doesn't have to. That's what it should be like. So, yeah, man, if you can drive that emotion behind it, that drive, that's gonna, So, like, when I felt that tussle in my imagination, I had the emotion to the point where I jolted physically. So if you can, and I still have to practice it, but if you can practice imagining in your mind to the point where you feel the leather of your car, whatever it is you want, or holding the money. That's why at one point I was listening to this dude on Spotify, but he's like, the money coming in different ways, money coming in different ways, money coming in frequently, money coming in mysteriously, money coming in different ways, money coming in. Like, so whatever he was saying, boom, boom. And I didn't have a job at the time, but I'm like, I'm playing it and I'm saying it because you got to say it. And it's about the positive mental attitude as well. So if you can, so that's pillar two. Pillar one was the positive mental attitude. So if you can hypnotize yourself by saying it 500 times a day, start with 300 times a day, start with 200, start with 100, start with 10 times a day, saying repeatedly, I am nutritious. I am now, not I'm going to be, or even, because that puts you in a state that you're not already there. So I'm a healthy. I identify as an athlete. You have to change your identity. So if you hypnotize, these are another attributes of Hamza. And another thing that Hamza said. Sorry, the pills are starting to kick in. God damn it. But and you shouldn't need that either because you're too worried about yourself apparently and about your feelings. And it's I. You should be worried about helping other people. And also if I was so fucking physically tired from working out all the time, I wouldn't even be thinking about popping pills, or you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't be so anxious about going to work. Anyway, Hamza even said last week, he's like, who do you listen to that has truly changed your life? Is it other YouTubers? Because if it isn't, you should cut out anybody who you've been listening to and you haven't seen results. I've only seen results through Hamza, whether it be thinking or even fucking physicality. Like I said, last year I was cleaning the house. I couldn't listen to his videos unless I was cleaning the house. And now I can't listen to his video unless I'm doing the yard work. But and he's already said, like, Iman Gaji, or one of these popular YouTubers, they've had a conversation and met, and it was a copacetic, everything cool, but it was an interesting conversation. How he said, Hamza's like, I'm all about fitness, that's my main priority, even though he's making like what, 100,000 a month. And the other guy's like, yeah, I'm actually trying to cut back on the working out. Like, I'm more into the business side, But they're both, quote unquote, successful. So it's about identifying what's important to you. And apparently, to me, it's about the self-improvement in the area of working out. I don't know why, but I enjoy push-ups. I enjoy that. But then that given, another point is, I'm too comfortable with that because I work out all the time. But it's like, okay, now we need to add the variables. It's like the main thing for me. What's my frog? What do you have to do that's hard for you to digest or hard for you to get done? For me, it's going to work, getting income. You understand? So even if you were to do content creation, which to on a time span of 1 to 3 years can take off if you're consistent and get better at it, you know, just like with working out, consistency and then volume, adding to it, right? Getting better at it, technique and output. You know, that's why, like, when I made these plans living at my dad's, maybe that was the issue. Like, I'm sleeping on his couch. During that time, I made a comment on Bedros's YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I'm staying on my dad's couch. Why the woo woo? I was even thinking about the military back then. And that's when I first listened to Gritty Soldier, and he was talking about how he was bouncing job to job, and kind of the army gave him some focus, you know. Um, and Bedros was like, you just got to get out of that situation on your terms. That was the main thing I got from it. You know, so me really living with my mom or living with a girl isn't really on my terms. The only way I see it really being on my terms at this point is going to the military. I really see that. Like, if I'm not such a pussy, I would pursue it. It's Tuesday, right? I could hop on the bus and go talk to the fucking recruiter, still fucking go to the gym, and still keep myself occupied until 12. It's 12:36. My schedule for the rest of December would be that, like, in 24 minutes, I'm fucking working, you know? So I should be doing something, putting in applications, you know, not necessarily working out, you know, even though I'm probably going to, but I shouldn't even work out until like a few hours later or this afternoon or something, you know? But then I'm like, where the fuck am I going to work out? I don't like working out in the cold, breathing in all this cold fucking air, and I'm going to be walking around in the cold this afternoon, this evening. No intention, nothing to do. But that's what I was doing like 2 years ago, staying with my dad. Like, when I would kill time, I'm just walking around. And then there was an instance where I'm walking around waiting for my dad or whatever, um, and somehow ended up at a Walmart, and I'm walking around and I'm like, bro, like, you're killing time, G. Like you're just walking around to kill time until other people get off of work so that you can enjoy yourself. And then I'm looking at this dad with his kids, and I'm like, look at him. He's still in his like work uniform. Like he fucking went in, put in his day's work at the warehouse or the shop. You know, it looked industrial, and I'm like, he put in his work so that he could get off, buy his family what they need, provisions, and go home and have enjoyment, fulfillment. And I'm like, you can't even have that fulfillment because you spent your whole day like bullshitting, pretending like you're being active, walking around, you know, walking for 6 hours straight, doing 4 hours of fucking push-ups. Like, you'd much rather do that type of shit but not provide. And then when you get to the root of that, I think it's because I'm not even happy in my relationship. Like, you know, I'm an asshole because I can't stand on business. And all through the years, any relationship I've had, like, I tell them it's over or I don't want to be with them, and they're like, no, please, please. And then I fall back. But that's the same thing with everybody. Anytime I have a good idea and I tell my family, my parents, I tell my friends, and they're like, I don't know about that. But that's why the genius is inside of you. And that's why even Steve Harvey says, like, you shouldn't even be telling people. And and one of these YouTubers, Monte, that really influenced me to kind of take this retention seriously last year. He was on a live video, and I chatted with him, and I was like, "What are your goals, bro?" He was in the medical field, you know, so and he was like ripped than me, but I think he was younger. But you know, he was either in the medical field or in medical school, whatever. But he was on a mission, and I was still trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, "What are your goals?" He's like, "I don't talk about goals." And I thought that was very interesting because the derivative of that is like, you're not supposed to tell other people really your plans. You're supposed to pull it off, you know, and make it happen. So that's it. I'm gonna cut it because it's been 40 minutes straight, and I got 20 minutes to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do because I need to be active. You know, I'm supposed to be clocking in for the next 8 hours. So what's the most productive thing that I can do today to make me feel good? You know, at least take a step in the direction that I need to go. So respect to everybody. Pillar number one, keep a positive mental attitude. Positive, you know, gotta hypnotize yourself. This is why we gotta be very selective with TV programming. Don't be watching TV deaths. There's too much crap. to the point where you might have to go into monk mode. You might have to put down your phone for 14 days, for 30 days, for 90 days, for 21 days, the remainder of the year. You know, I might have to go. Desperate times meet desperate measures. I might have to get to the point where I'm not triggered to smoke weed, cut bad habits. You got to. It's either that or death. When is enough going to be enough? That's what I'm thinking. Walking around 2 hours at night trying to kill time in the cold. You know, waiting for my girl to pick me up because I'm pretending to be at work. Like, when is enough going to be enough? You know how you're not supposed to charge your phone 100% all the way so that you can keep the integrity of the battery? That's the same way that I need to be. You know, stay hungry. Never eat to the point of getting full, like the samurai. You know, just eat enough to sustain. Don't overindulge. You have to stay hungry. And for me, that might even be with the money, because whenever I'm hungry, I attack it. You know, but even getting $100, I think I can take today off. Like, motherfucker, you got bills now. We need thousands, not hundreds. At least could you rest when you're at 1,000? You know, so we gotta pick it up, man. We gotta fucking do something. Do something. But it's I know what to do. I've known what to do for years. The same way that other people know how to get physically fit. You fucking lose 100 pounds to, you know how to be financially literate. You know all these things. But the common man, at least in my generation, apparently, or my peers, colleagues, my environment, can't even save $2,000. You know, have a safety net. Let alone trying to have $10,000 in the bank. You know. So just the paradigm shift of even thinking I can make 10,000 a month or even 10,000 a year, because I haven't made 10,000 a year in the last fucking uh, um dare I say 10 years. Have I made 10,000 in 1 year? Maybe one of them. Maybe one of them I made 10,000 a year. Never been consistently holding a job. So that's another thing with these videos, man. I noticed in the beginning, but now that I've talked about it a lot, I've been very negative on myself, exposing a lot of demons, negative shit, aspects, dark sides. And it's yeah, to a degree it's embarrassing, but also the whole objective is to have a script with these. Eventually I want to get into a content creation mode where I break down specifically what I want to talk about so I stay on topic. And then just push forward and actually do what I say I'm gonna do, man. Yeah, man. Always stay hungry. Always stay hungry. God bless, man. Stay with God.